Hi, I'd like to speak to you today about three things. The first is the spirit of caring, which is at the foundation of Agastya's mission. The second is about having a sense of urgency in your work. And the third is about shifting from instruction to construction. Caring. Some years ago, I remember talking to a bunch of young schoolgirls in a government school in North Bangalore and asking them why they came to Agastya. And they replied quickly, "It's because of the models you have, sir. We don't have such models. And it's very easy to learn from these very nice interactive models." So I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you a set of models to your school. Will you still come to Agastya?" And they said, "Yes." So why? Because our teachers haven't been trained to teach these models, whereas the Agastya teacher knows how to bring the model alive in the classroom. Good point. So I said, "You know what? We'll train the teachers in your school to learn to bring the models alive in the classroom. Now, will you still come to Agastya, or is it goodbye because you don't need us?" And they thought for a bit and they said, "We'll still come." And I said, "Why? You have the models, you have the trained teachers. Why would you bother?" And they said, "Because the Agastya teacher is a friend." Now, what that told me was that at the end of the day, what the children really wanted was a caring teacher, someone who connected with them not only here, but also here. Right? And this is important because these children go through a lot of hardship at home and outside home. And when they come to school, yes, they want to learn something new, but most importantly, they want to see the teacher smile at them, the teacher reach out and be kind to them, to understand what they're going through, to help them learn in a way that's caring and nurturing. I was very happy with this feedback because that is the most important thing Agastya can do. Bring about that sense of caring between our instructor and the child. And this is greatly influenced. How successful we are in being a caring organization depends on you, the area lead's relationship with the instructor. How caring are you with your staff? And by caring, I mean, do you listen to them? Are you patient with them? Do you hear their problems? Do you respond to see how you can help them? So that they feel this person is with us. He or she is one of us. They understand our problems and they're trying their best to help us succeed. How are you helping them build up, come up as individuals, skilling them, training them? But caring is not just emotional, wishy-washy stuff. It also has to do with discipline. Discipline means if I really care for you, I have to make sure that you're properly trained, that you respect the rules of the organization and the schools we visit. Show up on time. Show up in a way that children, when they see you, will feel, here's someone who's come to really help us and make a difference. Make sure that the tools and environment you provide your instructors, a clean mobile lab, clean, not dusty equipment, a clean environment, a productive environment. Are you doing that enough? All of this is part of discipline, right? Whether it's the mobile lab or the science center. Is the toilet clean? Are the sinks clean, or do they look dirty with all those gray stains? Are the tables clean, or do they look all stained and dirty? Is the equipment clean or dusty? Now, if you as the area lead pay intense attention to how you can become a more caring individual, with the instructors who work for you, then that is going to translate into how the instructors teach the children. It has a positive domino effect, right? So this relationship is critical for Agastya's success. And I want to all of you to think about it before we meet and talk about it. Because often I hear stories of instructors who are unhappy. See, no one needs to agree with you, but you must, if you disagree, learn to agree to disagree, right? The instructors must see you like the soldier sees his captain in the army. They will do anything for a captain who's willing to say, not attack, but follow me. So how hands-on are you? Do you go and teach in the classroom to show the instructor that you understand the environment they work in? Are you objective? Objective means listening to someone with as little bias as possible. Bias comes in, prejudice comes in, when you begin to treat people not the way they are, but the way they should be. So somebody might not be from your community, caste, religion, or your village, or your town, or your college, and you begin to treat them differently because you think they are inferior or superior. All of this creates bias. And when you have bias, then you will never give a fair assessment, hearing to the person who's working for you. So be aware. Ask yourself, do I have bias? Where is this bias coming from? This instructor doesn't have to be my best friend, but if they're doing the best work, then I have to make sure that they are the ones who are rewarded the best. Somebody else might say nice things to me or be my friend or be from my community. That's fine. I might invite them home to have a cup of tea. I might not invite the other person. But when it comes to evaluating their performance, I will reward the person who's doing the job and meeting the organization's goals and exceeding them, irrespective of how they look or where they come from or which God they pray to. So all of this is part of caring. The second point I said was sense of urgency. See, what happens as an organization grows is it begins to acquire a lot of inertia. You all know about Newton's laws of inertia. It begins to rest on its laurels, which means it begins to believe we have been so successful because we did A, B, C, D. Let's just continue doing more and more of that. It begins to slow down. It loses its hunger to want to achieve, to do great things. And part of that is having a sense of urgency, doing things quickly, not stupidly. I'm not saying you just do something quickly without thinking through it, but having thought through it and even thinking through it in a way that conveys urgency, respect for time, not delaying things all the time. हाँ कल देखा जाएगा, चलता है. All of this is the opposite of a sense of urgency. And if as an organization we don't have that hunger and that sense of urgency, कुछ करके दिखाना है, जल्दी दिखाना है, we can't wait forever. We have to do it fast. Why is it important? Because imagine there's a child starving and needs food, and you're taking your own sweet time to prepare food and give food to that child. By the time you give the child food, the child might have died. So worst case scenario. But it's happened. We've tolerated malnutrition for years and years and years in many, many countries around the world. Just as you don't want a child to starve, it's essential to give them food now. Not later, not tomorrow, a week from now, or a month from now. it is equally important to feed the child's mind now, when the mind is still flexible and absorbent. A 10-year-old or a 12-year-old child, you wait and you take 5 years to introduce something new. By that time, that child is 17 or 18. They're not even interested in what you have to say. Their minds are no longer as absorbent. So time matters, sense of urgency, not delaying, but doing it now, and accelerating, speed, velocity. Having that sense of urgency is key. It applies not only to teaching the child, giving them the right stimulus on time, but also with your staff. Don't wait. Help them build their skills and abilities as fast as possible. Let them grow quickly, because the quicker they grow, the more impact they will have, and the quicker the country will grow and the organization will grow. So think about this. We need to talk about this sense of urgency. How fast are you in responding to a situation, anticipating a situation, in acting when you're told to act? The third thing is shifting from instruction to construction. So you might be very fast in acting. When you're told to act, shoot, you shoot. Very good, undoubtedly. But life is not that simple. You need to build the capacity to come up with new ideas, with new ways of doing things. It's not just about the boss saying, do this. The region manager says, do this. Sai has said, do this. And Sai is sitting in a room coming up with new ideas. And he says, do it. And you say, yes, sir. And you make it happen. That is important. I'm not denying it. But Sai can't come up with all the ideas and problems all by himself. Right? No single individual can. Not Sai, not me, not Hari, not Mahavir, not Tyagu, not Ajit Basu, not your region manager. So more and more people in Agastya must show that initiative to move from just taking an instruction, ki ye karo, conquer that hill, to actually constructing new ideas, constructing new knowledge. That requires initiative. That requires building the self-confidence to do that. Trust me, it's not that difficult. It just requires a change in your attitude that yes, I can do it, and yes, it is worth doing. Take baby steps. Start small, but slowly you will acquire that as a habit. So the day a large number of people in Agastya shift from merely taking instructions to also learning to construct new things on their own, we will become a much better self-organizing entity. We will be able to power the movement across India that we dream of. So I will end here by summarizing that Sai is going to organize meetings where we will be discussing the 3 points of caring, sense of urgency, and the shift from instruction to construction. This brief talk of mine is just to give you an overall agenda, a broad description. I have by no means covered all the points, but let's meet to discuss these subjects, think about them, write notes, come up with questions, come up with ideas, and we'll have a really stimulating and productive meeting to turbocharge Agastya. Thank you very much and all the best.